An expansive new era of private enterprise may be dawning among the ancient rooftops of old Havana. But for Michael Connors,
that was one Palacio.
It's another ordinary but entertaining day at the office.
These are the mail drops. And you would just put your letter in there.
I don't want to.
Oh, go ahead.
I feel like it's going to bite me.
Oh!
Connors has been leading his fellow Americans around this World Heritage Site for 15 years.
This is the hotel that Jimmy Carter stayed in.
Sharing his love of Cuban culture,
undulating Baroque line,
and his fascination with this capital city's unique architecture.
Baroque, Rococo, neoclassicism.
Connors helps organize high-priced package tours for visitors, and on this trip they include his cousin, Matt.
And this is an incredibly warm and gracious people. And yeah, there's a lot of bureaucracy and there's a lot of history between the two countries, but we have so much more in common.
To appreciate that common ground, many of the 100,000 Americans who visited Cuba last year required a travel license from the U.S. government.
How tricky in terms of bureaucracy is it to get the license to visit here?
It is tricky. It is, as we say in Cuba, es muy complicado. We apply every year for this license to take people to Cuba for educational, humanitarian, cultural, people-to-people exchange.
And while these costly cultural tours constitute tourism in everything but name, the recent relaxation of U.S. travel restrictions may mean many more mass-market American tourists will arrive. Cuba's best beaches have long attracted visitors from Europe, and while the arrival of Americans on these shores could present a business opportunity, it could also mean a real challenge to the island's tourism infrastructure. More than 10 charter flights leave U.S. airports for Cuba each day, but major carriers like United Airlines are also contemplating routes to the island.
How do you think the Cuban government's going to cope with the challenge if there is a huge influx of tourists here?
I have no idea, because they're having a hard time working with the people that are coming now.
3 million global visitors contributed $2 billion to the Cuban economy last year, making it the state's second largest source of foreign revenue. But as family-run guest houses and cafes attract clients away from state-owned hotels and restaurants, it's the private sector that has the most to gain. And that's thanks in part to a new US policy which encourages entrepreneurship in this communist country.